This is the movie called I Am Legend, starring Will Smith. We are legend. Now what? The way this movie started off is, and again, there will probably be spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it. It's a good movie. It's a very, very accurate commentary in terms of the symbolism behind what's happening in the movie. Not to spoil it too much, but you have Will Smith. He's having nightmares of about a year ago when a contagion, there was an outbreak from a medical trial that went wrong, and I think the lady only tested maybe a few thousand people, like maybe 1,400, 2,600 people possibly. And just because she had those trials right with her medicine, she felt like she could cure the entire world, and they went on with that. And what ended up happening is everybody ended up turning to zombies, basically just flesh-eating zombies, dark seekers that he called them. And this is what happened to the world. And it happens ironically in New York City is where this took place. So in New York, according to this movie, people were already dealing with quarantine, and they were already dealing with the infection. Now, there's a difference between the character played by Will Smith, Robert Neville, and myself. The moment I would have found out, I don't care what kind of scientist I am, I'm fleeing. I'm going to wherever, Vermont, wherever they ended up in the end, where there was nobody that was infected. I'm going straight there, and I'm going to be reporting from the desk. I'm not going to be out there with the zombies like he was. He was getting his hands dirty. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to go in it to say, look, what's going on out there? Is it similar to these notes? All right, well, I can't deal with it. What does it say on the paperwork? What does it say on the slides? What does it say in the files? I'll go that route. I ain't even going to lie to you. He was a colonel, though, so he had to be on the battlefield somewhat. So he was a colonel and a scientist. Now, the funny thing is, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we are in a war. Definitely in a war. And we definitely have to approach it scientifically. We have to find out what works and what doesn't work out here, because allegedly, the trials that are going on now with a lot of stuff and a lot of different medicines, people are dying from it. We haven't heard of any flesh-eating zombies or anything like that, but we do have a Z spell on the planet. We do have a sleep spell. Z is for sleep. Z is for finality. So we do have a certain kind of finality to the concept of really possessing one's soul. So we have that, and it did cause quarantines, and it does cause isolations, and there are infections, and sometimes you do feel like it's just you and your dog. Family members even get lost to this thing, because you are legend, so people are dropping left and right. But where's the cure? I'll tell you where the cure is. Not according to the movie. According to the movie, it was in his blood. The cure, it was in his blood. He had immunity to airborne and contact strain. The dog did not. The dog was only immune to the airborne. So if the dog got hit or wounded by any of these zombies, the dog would get infected. This man had a dog, a wife, and a kid, and they all died. The family died in a helicopter crash. And he had to put the dog down because the dog got wounded by the zombie dogs. See, this zombie thing is like a whole family unit. One of the zombies that was captured had a relative and came back to get some revenge. So whether you're a zombie or not, metaphorically speaking, you still have a unit around you. Whether you huddled up in the light or huddled up in the dark, you're gonna find your tribe. Just like I said in other videos, you're gonna find your soul group. You're gonna magnetize. There's gonna be some solar union. You are legend. We are legend. Now what? Because Unlike Robert Neville, the cure is not physical. It's a spiritual cure. And this cure goes back to the MK Ultra symbolism of the butterfly and the transformation, the cocoon. His kid in the movie, which is really his kid. I think Willow was the one that was in it. Yeah, Willow was really in it. It was a family affair. So Willow told him, like, before she died, remember the butterfly, Daddy, remember the butterfly. She didn't say, Daddy, remember the caterpillar, because the caterpillar is before the transformation. This Z spell that we're under now is all about the caterpillar. It's not about the butterfly. You will be transhumanized before you be truly transformed organically. They don't want you to really be transformed organically. They want you to become more and more meta, because that's the opportunity. We don't know if this world is really going to turn into Ready Player One by Spielberg. We don't know if it's going to just turn into an abandoned ruins and everybody seeks paradise in a headset. There's a lot of allegations and a lot of things out there, a lot of material out there that says that that's where we're headed by 2045 though. And 2022 is looking very much like a video game. Constant resets, constant pausing. Not these new games that don't have pause, that keep you trapped in them forever and have you linked to your friends and stuck on the screen instead of in the world. No, we're talking about an organic, old school 8-bit cartridge video game. Blow the, you know, yeah. Anybody from the 80s, y'all know, blow the cartridge. Put the cartridge back in the old Nintendo. Rattle it around, knock it up and down, make sure the cord's in tight. And then press play again. We are legend, now what? Because Vermont is tiny, the whole planet can't fit in Vermont. So spiritually speaking, the cure is in the butterfly. The cure is in, what are you gonna transform into? You have to bloom and blossom into something. From something that hides in a cocoon in the dark and slime and sludge and can crawl and is equal to a worm at that point, versus something that can fly even without a brain and still get to its destination on time accurately. Can use nature to get it wherever it needs to go. It is a butterfly. It adorns the landscape. It's not in a crawling cocoon caterpillar stage. It is able to take off. So it's all about the butterfly in this zombie apocalypse. You can't look to the outside world. That's in spiritual and moral ruin. You can't look to the inside world necessarily of technology unless you're going in it to either seek out that transformation from the caterpillar to the butterfly within you, or you're in there to affect that kind of change, to bring yourself and others from the caterpillar to the butterfly stage. And this is a take on I Am Legend, the movie. This is a take on it. This is not the take, but this is a take where you can see some parallels between the script and life. Sometimes it's just you and your dog. Sometimes you feel like you're the only one in the city who's awake, the only one in the city who isn't infected, the only one in the city who isn't a zombie, the only one in the city who's conscious, the only one in the city who's socially functional. You can feel like that, and that makes you legend. So what will be your legacy?